Yo, what's good everyone? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make good decisions in business and in brackets in life in general, because I feel like this is a very important topic that most people actually overlook. And they never really stop to reflect, how am I actually making decisions? Where am I making this decision from? And as you know, the decisions you make will lead to the life that you got. So wherever you are in life right now, it's all because of the decisions you made. It's all your responsibility, whether you find it a comfortable truth or not, and it came down to the decisions you made and the thoughts you had about it. So this is why I'm attacking this today, and I hope it's going to help you a lot. So I know it's been a while, so this week I'm going to post 3 times, this being the first video to make up for the lack of uploads. Anyway, before we get into it, as you know, if you need help booking more calls, generating more leads for your coaching, consulting, or agency business, book a call down below. Let's see if we can help, and we'd love to chat to you, or a person in my team will help with you making that decision. So anyway, let's stop talking now. How to make good decisions in business and life in general. So the first thing we need to outline is, basically how to pre-frame this is we need to think about, okay, what circumstances, what environment do we actually need to be in to make a good decision? So when to make, I put in brackets, big decisions, because this is going to be even more important if you're making a decision that could potentially change the trajectory of your life for the next 2 to 5 to 10 years. But if you need to do small decisions, then you can do this as well. This is very ideal. Make sure you're well fed, make sure you slept well, make sure you're calm, make sure you're in a peaceful environment, and make sure you're not under too much stress or urgency. So let me expand on that just quickly. Make sure you're well fed, because if you're hungry, you're going to be hangry. Most people are, and I know I am. So, it's good to make sure you've had a nice, nutritious meal before making such a decision. Second thing is sleep. So, again, another thing that most people overlook is sleep. So important. A good night's sleep can make a world of a difference. Even just one night, you can tell a big difference. Try sleeping tonight. Try sleeping like a full 8 hours. And then maybe the nights before or the night after, you maybe just stick to your normal routine. If you're not sleeping well, go down to like 5 or 6, and then just feel the difference. And it's really crazy how quickly it can change. So make sure you're sleeping well, and before you make such a big decision. The next thing is make sure you're calm. So obviously that's going to help with the last 2 points, but if you're just calm in general, then you have the headspace to think. You're not really panicking about anything. Peaceful environment, very similar. So if you have like friends or family or pets who are very, they're very active, very loud, could get in your head a bit. So make sure you go to a peaceful environment like a park, where you can actually make a decision, an informed decision and a smart one. And the last thing is not under too much stress or urgency. So make sure, and this is going to tie into what I'm going to talk about later on maybe, but it really helps if you're not under too much stress or under too much urgency. So for example, if you have a rent bill due in the next 14 days, then it's going to be hard to make an informed decision, because all you're going to be stressing about is that rent being due in the next couple days. All right, so see if you can sort that out. If one really powerful thing about having cash in the bank is, one of my mentors told me about this, is it's actually not bad having some cash in the bank saved. Like, I know a lot of people in our niche like to talk about, okay, reinvest every last penny, make sure you're spending because it'll come back. But there's nothing wrong with having a couple grand in the bank, because that gives you that peace of mind. It gives you that, again, the calm and the peaceful environment and the headspace to think, so that if something does go wrong when you make the decision, let's say it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, let's say you invest into a stock in it, or crypto, for example, and it just crashes or it doesn't do well, then you're not panicking, because you still got money in the bank that's hopefully around 6 to 12 months of living expenses. So you're not panicking too much. But that's just an example there. Make sure you're not under too much stress or urgency. I need to write down as well that it's very, very good if you're still stuck on a decision. If you're stuck on this big decision, and this is one of the principles I've been living by lately, is just pull the trigger, or just make a decision. Yeah, this is something I've been living by, because when I was growing up, I've always been told that I need to think about it. I need to think about it before acting. I need to make an informed decision by thinking about it, pondering on it, weighing up the pros and cons. And I know it kind of, I don't know, contradicts the things I'm about to say and the things I probably just said. But if you're stuck on a decision and you've been at it for a couple weeks now to a couple hours when it doesn't need to be, and you know this from the bottom of your heart, you're better off just pulling the trigger and making a decision and not worrying about if it's right or wrong. Because there's something beautiful about life, is that it'll always work out in the end. No matter if you've been a good person, if you've done good in your life and you're working hard, then the universe, and I know it sounds corny, but it's true, like it'll course correct you in ways that you don't know, so that even if you do make a decision, you screw up, it's gonna work out in the end. So just pull the trigger. You're best to take imperfect action than perfect inaction, and making sure that all the chess pieces are there, because it'll work out in the end. And if it does work out, then great, you made the decision. So the framework here, this is not mine, this is from a mentor again, but I thought it was really important I touch on this. So I don't have a name for it. He calls it the bottleneck principle. I don't have a name for this, but how it goes is you first want to theorize. Let me just check if it's recording. Yeah. First want to theorize, you want to test. Third is you want to reflect. Four is you want to adjust, and the last thing you want to do is repeat. Pretty simple, right? It sounds pretty simple, but let me give you some examples. Or I'll actually show you how most people make decisions, and most of the time they're actually not good. So most people, and this was me as well, so I'm not going to be on my high horse and shun anyone. How bad decisions are made. So it's either they're, and it's usually because they're missing steps from this framework. So either they just theorize, they think of something, of a decision that they need to make, but then they never actually reflect on it. That's a big one. It's a lot of people, the reason why you might be stuck could actually just be because of this, is you've come up with an idea, you've taken action on it, you made a decision on it, and you're persisting on it, but it's not getting you the result you want. So for example, and we'll get into examples here, but for example, if you're posting on Facebook to try and get more leads and it's not working, and you've been at it for 3 to 6 months now, have you reflected on it or adjusted? Ask yourself this: have I actually made any adjustments, or have I reflected on why it might not be working? Because if you're not, you're going to keep going down this downward spiral, this bad rabbit hole, where you're just going to be spinning your wheels and never getting any progress done, and it's going to be very frustrating. I know it is, because I've been there before, and it absolutely sucks, and it's a lot of time wasted. So that's one of them. And then the second one is kind of the opposite. So they'll theorize, theorize, take action, but never reflect or adjust. Theorize, take action, but reflect or adjust too quickly. This is a classic case of, I'll say, overthinking. So you'll theorize, you'll think of a decision to make, you'll take action, but you won't give it enough time. You won't give it enough time to gather data, because a lot of the ways, as I said here, if you want to reflect or adjust, then you have to have data. You need to basically know what you're looking for, but you also need to give it enough time. You need to give it enough breathing room so that it gives you enough data that you need. So for example, in terms of the Facebook example with generating leads, okay, let's say you started posting in Facebook, right? But you've only given it 2 days, and by the 2 day mark, you're already reflecting and adjusting because you think it's not working on the second day. Like, really? You think 2 days is enough for you to make a judgment whether or not this is working or not, whether this is getting getting you more leads or not? That's too quick. And it does take some common sense here. It does take some testing. Okay, knowing what time frame, how much to do, to realize, okay, is this too short or too long? But like, if you think about it, if you're posting for 2 days on Facebook, do you really think that's a long enough time frame to start making, assumptions? Probably not, right? You could ask a 5-year-old that, they probably say no, it's not enough. So yeah, make sure to give it enough time and be consistent with it, and then make a decision. I would put a third one, but I just want to get through the video. And if the third one comes up, I can cover it. But anyway, so the first example here with this whole framework is building the perfect workout plan. Now I put this, and this is exactly why I came up with the video, is because I was at the gym yesterday or 2 days ago, and like I was figuring out why I found health and fitness so easy. Like, it did take time. It took me over 2-3 years to start actually getting some actual results. Like, I was going to the gym beforehand and I just wouldn't gain weight. Like, I knew the theoreticals, I knew the lifts, I knew the form, but I just couldn't gain weight. And I realized all this time was because I wasn't eating enough. I need to bulk, and if you want to bulk, then you need to eat more. And again, that's could be an example of the decision-making process. But yeah, I found this, like, it's gotten to the point where if you've done something long enough, for me, it's like health and fitness and lifting, it's like you can almost just rely on your instinct, and you have this like microchipped in your brain, this framework, this decision-making framework. So my brain was like yesterday, okay, why did I find it so easy? Because I did this framework. Okay, let's think of an example. So building the perfect workout plan. Why is my workout plan so suited to me? Why is my diet so suited to me? Why is everything so suited to me? Well, because of this. So for example, building the perfect workout plan was, first I theorized. So for example, will adding dips improve my chest gains? Because when I was younger and I was trying to get started, my chest was one of the weaker muscles in my body, basically. So, and I was kind of insecure about that. So I was trying to find different ways of how to improve my chest gains. So one of the things I tried to do was adding dips to my workout program. So that's what I theorized. Okay, how do we do it? How do we actually know if it's going to work or not? You have to test it. So I added dips to the workout routine, and I think I was following a 4-day workout split, which is upper strength, lower strength, upper hypertrophy, lower hypertrophy. So I added it to the upper hypertrophy. So on a Thursday, the third workout. So I added that. Started off with 3 to 10 to 12 reps, because I think that's just the right rep range and set range. So tested it out for 30 days. So notice I put 30 days. Like, you could go longer. So you could go 45 days, 60 days, just because it does take time to really think about. And with exercise, at least, it takes time to make an assumption to see results, just like with most things in life. So did that, did dips, worked on the form, like actually looked at the form properly, did it, increased weight, did everything right, had progressive overload, and then I reflected on it. So asking questions like, okay, did my chest get stronger? Does it actually look bigger in the mirror? Could I either lift more weight or hit more volume in my other chest exercises? So if I was doing bench press and I was supplementing it with dips, did my bench actually go up because of the help of the dips? And it could be like a binary yes or no. No, so you got to ask these questions to yourself, and you be the judge as to what questions you ask and how you reflect on it. And then the fourth thing is adjusting. So if it actually answered most of the questions correctly, if my chest actually did get bigger, if I actually got stronger, then keep doing it. Like, double down on what's working. That's a fundamental principle. If something's working, then keep doing it. Take it as far as you can. But if not, for some reason, if my dips, if after 30 days there wasn't really a result or it didn't make a difference, then I need to come up with some reasons why. So even if they're hypothetical. But the good thing is about health and fitness as well, I think this is there's another theory that I thought about why I found it so easy, is because when you look online, if you just search up online, why aren't my dips working, or why aren't dips working, why isn't my chest getting any bigger, you already have people who are experts listing all these reasons why, and then you can just go off of those. With other things, for example, you don't always get that. There's a bunch of reasons why, so you just have to figure out like why that could be, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but yeah, if not, then figure out some reasons why. Okay, was my form off? Did I not do progressive overload? Did I not lift like more and more progressively? Then that's probably why. Or is my form off? Or am I not eating enough? Plenty of reasons why. Figure out that reason and then repeat until you do get the desired result. So that's an example. Second example, similar to the one I just gave in the very start of the video, finding the right lead generation strategy. For example, will Reels get more leads for my business? So this is one I had to come up a few months ago. Okay, how do we know this? We're going to test. We're going to post 1 reel a day for 30 days. And then we're going to reflect on it. Okay, so did I actually get more calls booked from it? Did I generate more leads? Is the actual question. Did I grow my following? Did I get more engagement? What was the lead quality like? And if it's pointing towards good things, if it's actually, then you know it's working. If it gets you closer to the desired outcome, which is now we're on the adjust step now. If it gets closer to the desired outcome, then keep at it, double down on it. If not, figure out some reasons why, even if hypothetical. So again, there are resources out there. You can ask people, ask experts, okay, why aren't my reels working? And then they'll tell you. So you got to take action on that, adjust accordingly, make sure you give it enough time. So 30 days is pretty good. And then repeat until you do get it right. If still not working, there is a rare case when it's just redundant, where posting more reels won't actually help you. Maybe, like for example, if you're targeting, and don't take my word for it, take it with a grain of salt, but if your agency helps mortgage brokers, LinkedIn you might have a better chance with LinkedIn, because these guys are more corporate. They're probably the older generation, so they probably won't be hanging out on Instagram as such, compared to something like LinkedIn. So again, take it with a grain of salt, test it out. Even what I'm saying, you have to be skeptical about it and use this framework. You've got to test things out. And then the last example I thought I'd put is deciding where to move. And this is a bigger example. It's a bigger decision you have to make. So for example, do you want to move to Colombia? Should I move to Colombia? How do we test it? How do I actually know whether or not I want to move to Colombia? Okay, maybe you could stay for a few weeks or to a few months in a rental or an Airbnb, or go to the area that you're thinking about staying in. And then you stay there for a couple of weeks, maybe bring some buddies with you, maybe you go alone. Depends on what you're looking for, what you want to do. And then you reflect on it. Okay, did I like the location? Did I like the weather, the people, the food? Does it fit my needs? What don't I like about it? So asking yourself questions, reflecting on the test, basically. And then adjust. So if it's the right move, then move. If it's the right fit, then move. If not, try other places out, or figure out why it didn't go well, or why I didn't like it. So it's just another classic example. It's a bigger decision. Yes, there's more financial involved. It's just a bigger decision. That's why I preface this with this section earlier. Why you need to be well fed, sleep. You should have slept well, be calm in a peaceful environment. All these things when making a big decision. Because if you're emotional about it, if you're stressed out, if you're tired, if you're hungry, then chances are you're probably going to make the wrong hypothesis or adjustments or anything really in this. So adjust and then repeat. So those are some examples. It's really easy. It's not too hard. The hard part is implementing it. So taking what I said in this video, and I'm just going to be like forward here, probably only 50 to 60% of you are actually going to walk away, and maybe even a fewer percentage are actually going to walk away and implement this framework. And if you don't want to implement this framework, that's on you. It doesn't change my life. But I'm here to try and help you out, and this is what I've found to be the best framework. This is the best way I found to make decisions. So if you are going to be part of that small minority who is going to take this home, take action on it, and you're going to get results from it. You're likely going to get way more results from it, and you know how to make good decisions, and you're going to get the results you want in life. Those are 3 examples I just gave you, so make of that what you will. And then the last thing I want to close off with is have a reference point or a certain KPI you're aiming for. Otherwise, you won't know where you're going. Like sailing a ship relying on your instincts, or sailing a ship relying on your mood that day. You can't just do that. That would be, if a sailor just said, okay, so I don't know where we're going. If you were on a cruise ship and the sailor said, or the captain said, okay, I don't know where we're going, honestly. I don't know how to get there, but I'm just going to go off of how I feel or my instincts. You probably get your ass off that ship straight away, because that is not professional. That's not how you do such a thing. But why do we do it with other areas of our life? Why do we just rely on our emotions? The key here is to have a reference point or a certain KPI. So having the perfect workout program. Let's say your KPI is, let's say bench, for example, you're trying to hit like 2 plates, 225, I think that's in America. 225, I forgot what it is in kilograms. Let's say you're trying to do 2 plates. So, okay, will adding dips improve my chest gains? How do I know? If nothing else, did it help me get closer to 225, or did it help me get closer to 2 plates? Yes or no? Finding the right lead generation strategy. Very simple. How many calls do you want to book per week or per day? Let's say you want to book 1 call a day. Okay, did reels. I will test this out. I'll do this theory. At the end of the day, did it actually get me to 1 call a day or not? Or closer to 1 call a day? Yes or no? Deciding where to move. This one's a bit more abstract, but you can come up with your own. I think, yeah, this one's way more abstract. You just have to think, like, I guess a reference point or KPIs, or you can have a few KPIs. So, is there a gym near me? Is there a martial arts gym? Whatever you're looking for. Is there good places, good bars, good cafes, whatever. Or overall, you can just make your own KPI. Okay, do I truly feel happy in Colombia? Do I truly feel happy in the area I'm staying? Do I see myself living there for the next couple of years, long term? So yeah, that's very important. Have a reference point or KPI. So yeah, that, boys and girls, is how you make good decisions. If you got value from this video, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at @TheMattJacob. And finally, again, if you book a call down below, we can actually talk. You can talk with one of my team members, my partners, and we'll help you see if you can actually help you generate more leads, help you grow your coaching, consulting, or your agency to 10K a month and beyond. Whatever your goals are, we're here to help. At the end of the day, even if you don't book a call, you don't take action, I hope you walked away from this feeling more enlightened. That's how you make good decisions, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you.